I'm back. Just came back from EVO. It was like what day was this? August 1st, August 3rd. I had a great time. It was a blast. It was my first EVO ever. I got the Chipotle card, but how far did I make it? Who knows? You'll find out if you stick around by watching this video. First EVO ever. I had a great time. I went with family. Made some new friends. Played a lot of Strive and got a lot of cool knickknacks and such as this T-shirt that I'm wearing. The T-shirt that came with like the EVO pass when you bought your EVO badge. Like it was kind of bad, but you know, that's okay. That's one of the bad things I had from the event. Like I just didn't like the T-shirt, but then I bought this. This camera's not working. Sorry. It's like a tie-dye shirt or something. And then badge, and then these 2XKO pin. Ilaoi, I didn't really want Ilaoi. I like Ari. I went to the Tokon booth here. You'll see later in this bootleg vlog, but I got these cool pins. Did I show off this water bottle? I got this. Ooh, there we go. Got this water bottle. I didn't really use it. I used this my regular water bottle. What else did I get? What else did I get? I got this snack box controller. I got this new one. It's not the same as the old one, because the old one has like these like prongs on top to put your keychains on. As you can tell, I think the camera picks it up. Yeah, it's like prongs right here. This one's like a lot lighter. The switches are like jades or something. Not jades, or like whatever it's called, like amber switches. I think that's what they're called. But then this one has no prongs, so it's like flat on top. It's like a bit heavier. I can't describe it. It's not as light as this, and it's not as super heavy as like an M-Press, but like it's just a bit heavier. It's nice in the lap. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just heavier and different switches. I don't like the switches on this because it's like very scratchy, but you know, I want a new controller, and like I love these controllers. So shout out to the people at a snack box booth. They're cool people. I should have said that. I was a little too shy, but what can you do? Other thing I got was this poster. I forgot who this was by, but I love Gen 2. Gen 2 is the greatest gen of Pokemon of all time, in my opinion. Speaking of Gen 2 again, I ended up getting this Gen 2 desk mat. It's pretty small. It's not as big as my other desk mats, so I can't really use it, but it's cool. Cool regardless. I also ended up getting this keychain by the EVO booth merch stand because I didn't really like the T-shirt. Oh yeah, that was the other thing that I didn't really like about the event. Not like about the event, but the thing I didn't really like was that the controller didn't have the keychain loops thing, but it's okay. I got this from a sticker vendor where I got these stickers from. I think her name is Bark Snail. Probably saying it wrong. This is like a freebie item where you put it underneath your badge like this. If I do this, I don't know, but it's like this. It's kind of cool. Jollibee's amazing chicken. Yeah, I got these stickers from her. The rapper sticker, the O2 enjoyer. But did I go into? Who knows? I got this, so I probably didn't. Obviously, got this arcade cabinet thing, and then I got a bunch of other like cool knickknacks that I'll probably show in the video later, mostly for my friends and other cool stuff. But yeah, EVO was great. Had a great time again. Met up with old friends, went with family, made new friends, played a lot of Strive. The venue was really big. I liked how there was like a whole like alleyway, not alleyway, but like a whole like alley of like cabinets, arcade cabinets. I played Super Monkey Ball. I forgot to record the footage for that, but I played Super Monkey Ball, and that was really fun. I saw like Accent Core, some old Tekken games, Street Fighter vs. Tekken, a bunch of other random games that aren't fighting games. I think I saw like DDR somewhere or something, but it was great. Anyways, enough rambling. I will just go on with the video now. Fake vlog-esque, but enjoy the video, and let me show you how EVO is. EVO! I saw EVO through my hotel room at the Wynn. Wynn is a great hotel. There's EVO. It was freaking hot, so thank God the venue was cold. I had a burrito for breakfast, a foreshadowing because I got the Chipotle card. Here is the venue, is what it looks like from the inside. You get to see the big billboard. Got my badge, got this water bottle. Here's walking into the venue. Again, it's a big venue. Here it is, what it looks like inside. There's Crunchyroll. There's a whole wall of the previous winners from the previous years. I took a poor video of it, but it's whatever. The bring your own console station, this is where all the other fun games are at and the side games. Like, look how small that PC is. So cute. The Marvel Tokon line, super freaking long. I went to it later. One of the merch lines, this is where I got the desk mat from. He has super cool stuff. Again, now it's just rapid fire of like merch stuff. So here's this guy having cool artwork. Shrek and Morgan, Valorant, I suck at that game. ABBA's keychain from a cosplayer, Goodnight Poon Poon. Potemkin Drunk, Some of It May, Chip and Faust. Here's walking around the venue again. There's the Arc System booth banner, the SNK one, then the Capcom one at top right corner. And more of the Capcom banner, and then slowly the SNK banner. We're just getting closer and closer, and the venue is freaking huge, so it's just never ending. Here's more of the arcade games I talked about when there was no fighting games. This is just the music aisle. There's taiko drumming and the DDR like hand game. Super cool. Awesome place. For merch, there's so much merch scattered around the whole venue. So there's this guy selling, I think, posters again and t-shirts. And then on the far left, there's the, I think, the 10-0 section, right? Where that's what the brand's called. And then the 2XKO booth, this is like the main area. The lines here were so long, so I eventually went over to like the side area. Here's people playing Vi. Vi's super cool. Super close range Champ. Here's me in line to play 2XKO on the other side of the venue. Here's me playing, or starting to play actually. Walking around again after that, the Tekken 8 booth. I don't really play Tekken, but everyone likes it. This is the indie aisle. I got to play one of the indie games. Super cool. Look at that fun, cute pixel art of the duck with the thumbs up. The game I got to play was called Resistance 2040X. Shout out to Julio, the game developer, showing me it. Here's another alley of all the arcade games. Again, this is like the, I think, fighting game side. There's just so many cabs. Look, there's a sea of them. Oh my god. Before my matches started, I went to go see the Soul Bike from the Arc System Works booth. Amazing, cool design. Now we're at the EVO tournament area. It's like all the way on the far right side of the venue, like super deep in, as you see from that sign. Here's one stage. This stage was playing, I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Then the stage next to it was Street Fighter 6. This stage played Mortal Kombat 1, Fatal Fury, and then this was where I was at for my pool, 407. There's the Guilty Gear stream, and then the other stream on the far right. Again, afterwards, later at night, I went back to get some practice in and waiting for my pools to start. So this is pretty late at the night. This is like 7 p.m., almost 8. This is my first match of the night, so enjoy, because the rest of the footage is just my matches, so wish me luck. Let's go! After that match, I got to play on stream against Django. He played Nago. I played really timid in this match, like super duper scared. I just hated fighting against Nago. Ringe commentated it, and Proxy. It was a great opportunity to play on stream. I got to be on the big stage of EVO. It was amazing. So enjoy it and watch me get destroyed.
I'm excited for this one, of course. As you mentioned, Django versus Ragnarok. Some powerful names here.
And we'll see how the Vampire is able to do it here. Obviously, when you get pressed on defense in certain situations against the young prodigy himself, things can get a bit messy here. But depending on how you spend your blood, depending on how you spend your resources, and how you're able to stop sign some of these approaches, things can potentially go okay for you. But it's a dangerous game against the young one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see how Nagoriyuki manages his blood gauge, how the approach is going to be in general because of the threats from Sin, right? Both these characters got these gauges to manage that really maximize their pressure. So we'll see who's willing to spin more early, who's willing to conserve a little bit, but of course Ragnarok already using the burst.
Yeah, getting pretty aggressive there. 2 blood gauge put in the bag already. Burst comes through, and the 2S finds the mark. One of the best stop sign normals in the game here.
Wow, yeah, he tried to fade away with back Fugio into the far S, but Ragnarok got over it. Still though, that chip is nasty. Yeah, the 2-piece turned into a full entree. Oh my love.
The full commit on the jump forward too, beautiful stuff. Ragnarok with the reaction with the 6P, but you gotta remember with the big body, when he gets that right angle, you gotta be careful about your anti-airs. A lot of times you either have to go and throw him or you have to try and reposition around him. But while I'm yapping, that is 80% of your life, brother.
In 8 seconds, 80% in 8 seconds, baby. Oh my goodness, and a couple more is all that was necessary to put the perfect on the board. My goodness, 80%, 8 seconds, and it ended at 88 on the timer. That's OD.
Kind of ridiculous. I like that though. That's how fast the matches go, especially with both these characters too, right? It was pretty controlled in round 1, but the volatility's showing off a little bit here.
Yeah, he got one of like the dream starters for Nagoriyuki in that last round, right? Like back Fugio in a Beyblade starter. He used the far S target combo, I shouldn't say target combo, but sequence to drain the blood as well, which is great management.
Right there. A wild assault, carries extra to the corner, back throw, potential incident here as we look for the step forward. Close flashes almost find the mark, but a DP rings through.
And then again, this time the overhead. Catching Django try to take his buttons, try to take his turn back. Right now, though, you go through the wall. The positive vibes are here. Django, plenty of meter to his name. Ooh, it just gets tossed away. Very nice stuff from Ragnarok.
RTL turns down the hard knockdown. Things are looking good as ever. Looking for the step back there, and the clone not going to find the mark. But unfortunately for our Sin player here, Ragnarok put straight on his back with the fall through.
Yeah, the 2S's have been potent for Django, right? It's definitely taken away so much life from Ragnarok already. That's why he's trying to nullify that space. We got you in the corner now. You just got to deal with my pressure over and over. Burst out the super.
Jumps out of pressure as well. Way to escape with 2K2D does find the mark. Definitely a good way to get your pressure started here. But unfortunately, finds himself on his back for the second time, and with an RC forward, he's now guessing for his life in the corner here.
Sticks in the throw. You're looking at the OTG didn't outright kill you with just a Beyblade. The full faith in it. Oh my.
That's a ridiculous commitment in the moment there. Speaking of which, round start, both of them. Dude, for the fences, absolute ridiculous swinging from both players here, but luckily, a couple normals are able to get us just enough blood where the pop doesn't come through.
I was going to say, we ain't trying to get on base in this match. We trying to put runs on the board, and Django putting another dub on the board in that instance right there. Once again, the aggression is paying off for him.
I was going to say, I mean, after the conversation about it, man, these are not the two types of characters that play that fundamental ball. We're not, like you said, not trying to get off base. Make contact, send it to the wall for sure. But with that, it's going to be the Shizu and the knockdown, and the pressure continues. A burst already forced. 50% of your life gone. Make it even more. The dude.
This man, Django, is truly unchanged right now. This is going to be a big damage here with the wall break. Into the, not quite yet. Still got a little bit left, but Django is in firm control. Ooh, tries to base something out right there, just in case Ragnarok was feeling frisky back against the wall, but you still can't move when I got blood available to Beyblade without consequence.
And nothing to be done on that one there. 6P at the round start, was trying to go for the chop. It was a good idea, but unfortunately, the delayed beat driver ended up being a great answer here.
And again, the pressure in the corner, but yeah, using the empty to gain the space back right, and then starting with the 2S. It's really been where Django's bread has been baked.
Ooh, and even there, on the level 1 blood, is still able to find the mark of 5H. There's 6H in response, steps on the toes. The BSU chooses not to go too aggressive, though. A lot of times people go crazy in that moment. Speaking of which,
I was gonna say, he just waited. He just delayed the crazy for a little bit right there, right? Super aggressive burst to keep him in the corner. Tongue Gao Shao's Billy Star.
My gosh, felt like our woo! I'm a loser, but it doesn't matter. I'm framing this. I'm framing this. Going to the second day at 12 o'clock. Second day of EVO. The rest of the video is just my last 2 matches of getting whatever place I got, which I'll show you guys at the end, but enjoy the last 2 matches. And that was EVO. I forgot to talk about Marvel Tokon in this video, but this video is like nearly an hour long, so we'll just make Marvel Tokon's own separate video. But TLDR, here's some gameplay footage. The game was amazing. I should have watched the tutorial video of how to play the game because they like dropped it the day before or just during EVO. I don't know, but the game is great. I should have watched the tutorial. I did like this super dash move that looked like a command grab. I don't know, this guy wasn't really reacting to it. But EVO was great. I'm glad I got to go and experience it for the first time. I lost on stream, but whatever. It was a great learning opportunity. I hope next year I can go with the boys if they're able to go. If not, again, I got to experience it at least once in my life. Shout out to Goober, the man, for recording my matches. Shout out to Dank Dirty Dan, the last player I got to play for the tournament. These two fellows are sweet. Thank you so much for talking to me and just hanging out with me for that short amount of time. And shout out to my boy Isaac for letting me borrow the Brooks adapter. That came in clutch, because if I didn't have that, guys, I would have been able to play. I would have been like, well, I'm screwed, or I just buy a new Brooks adapter there for another $50. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.